Hey, what's up, guys? It's the HPR Chronicles Podcast with Shakur and Smith.
What's
And,
up?
and it is 2021. It's our first show of the year.
Yep.
And it's Insurrection at the Capitol. That's the
Yeah.
title today. And if you don't know what an insurrection is, it's when it's basically a violent uprising against an authority of the government. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is. So that's what we had today in the U.S., courtesy of whoever they were, the Trump supporters, Proud Boys, you know, all the other organizations that support Trump. And I have to say, it was a sight to see. The morning kind of started off peaceful, peaceful, so to speak, because they were certifying, the Electoral College was certifying Joe Biden's win at the Capitol. And you had your normal shenanigans. We heard that was going to happen, of some of the senators rejecting some of the states, knowing that it wasn't going to go through anyway. And it went from that to an insurrection, to where, you know, guns were drawn in the Capitol and people broke into offices and in the Capitol, and people had to go and hide in bunkers, I think, and offices and all that kind of stuff. And I have to say, if that was anyone else, Black Lives Matter or any other organization, I think the outcome would have been quite different. And I just saw on the news that someone died. You know, she was pronounced dead at the hospital. You know,
young lady.
Young lady. Yeah, as a result of all this madness, guys. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're joining us for the first time, Smith is a veteran of the Army Reserves, and he currently works for the VA. And I'm a film and TV director, producer. And we both have a love for history, politics, and race. And together with HPR Chronicles Podcast with Shakur and Smith, thank you for streaming where you get your podcast. We are everywhere. And on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, ISENT Group Digital. That I'm trying to change just to Infinite Stories because I was hacked. But for now, it's still ISENT Group Digital, if you like to look at these handsome gents, as I always say. So anyway, Smith, how are you doing? How was your new year? We're back. I never thought we'd be doing a show about insurrection. Originally, we planned to talk about QAnon and all their fake conspiracies. But in light of what happened today, we decided to switch at the last minute and talk about this insurrection that happened today.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're part of this whole insurrection too.
I'm sure it was QAnon folks out there. Absolutely.
Yeah. So to answer your question, it was a nice, peaceful, chill time for New Year's. Welcomed it. I had my son in town, so that was good. Yeah. And it was crazy to think, what was it, around 1, I think I read around 1 p.m. after Giuliani and Trump made some statements about, rushing to the Capitol or something along that line. Things just started going crazy from there.
Yeah, because Trump had a rally today. Earlier before it all started, and it was called the Save America rally or something to that effect. You guys can look it up. He called it the Save America rally or Take Back America rally. And he stood by, and then finally came out with this silly statement saying go home, but it was stolen from us. I mean, you can't say that and say that and expect the people to go home.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are So bad and so evil. I know how you feel, but go home and go home in peace.
Yeah.
You know.
And on top of that, in that video, he also said that the protesters / rioters were special people,
Right.
and he loved them.
Right. I mean,
So,
unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, unbelievable, guys. And I don't think ever in history, I know since in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this go down.
Meaning,
You know, I've heard stories of presidents not wanting to concede up until the very day of the actual inauguration, but I've never heard of a president inciting an insurrection and supporting it after the fact. I mean, it's just unbelievable what I saw today.
What I would say is most of the time, if it's happened, and we could have seen it, but it happened in other countries. It's like
right. It doesn't
exactly.
happen in a democratic republic. As George Bush came on and says, you know, you see stuff like this in a banana republic, as he said, but not in a democratic republic. So, yeah, it was definitely interesting. And what's going to be interesting to see too is if after all this, will Ted Cruz and all these other senators still try to reject the Electoral College count, even after this? You know what I mean? And if they do, I mean, this has with Trump become some sort of a cult, as they have been saying today on the news. It's just unbelievable to me. I've never seen nothing like this before, ever.
Well, as you're saying, like, it's crazy, it's scary because of the fact that it pushed people to do what has been done. I mean, Trump makes statements, and then Republicans have to own this and say the fact that there was very little voice pushing back on what Trump said.
Exactly.
You know, and then you had 100 in the House and a dozen in the Senate who wanted to object, which again, they weren't going to bring any evidence. Congress does not have the right to reject the state's, the state's votes that they brought. You know, the Congress was not meant to decide who's president because it was the people.
Right.
So it's just crazy. And in their mind, because of what has been the rhetoric that has been passed along, these people, these insurrectionists, actually believe that they're doing the right thing. They think
and it was stolen,
others,
and it was a fraud, and stop the steal, and Biden really didn't win. They actually believe that because that's what Trump has been telling them.
And his supporters and his close allies are still, have been making and the lawyers bringing the lawsuits, and no one's admitting to what, the fact that there's no evidence. They pull out binders, but there's nothing, and allegations does not equate to actual factual evidence.
Right. And I have to say, I hope they feel as if it backfired and they learned a lesson, because these same senators that started to reject it, the first one was Arizona, and because of that, they had to take a 2-hour recess. And some of those same senators had to go run and hide because of their own rhetoric that they've been supporting. So like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to spin it, and if they're going to still continue to follow Trump down this rabbit hole. They're already saying that they're going to say, well, we didn't tell the people to do that. They did that on their own.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, if they come back with this thing, like I said, it's really going to be sickening to see.
Yeah, because as you got, those are valid, straight points that it's almost like they can't come out and reject it because of the fact that they put so much in stake by even objecting. But again, they have no evidence. I mean, it would be best to come back, change their ways, but the way these supporters are, they're going to turn around and just like how quickly Pence was thrown under the bus and called a traitor and now part of the deep state, that's what they'll think about Cruz or Hawley and all the other ones. But they do need to, it does need to happen. It needs to come out and be like, there's nothing contest. Yes, we'll look into, strengthening voter rights and stuff like that, and that people. But I've always felt and still feel and think that one concession that, is that voting day should be a holiday. Everyone should have it off.
Yeah,
because then there is no issue. Yep.
Yeah, there's no issue. Yeah, and go ahead.
And just two more. I was hearing that some people want Trump or Pence to evoke the 25th Amendment, which
right. That's what I was about to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, and then possibly censoring him so that he can't do any more damage.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot,
that's what needs to happen.
Possibly impeach, and they can impeach him and kick his ass out before.
That's what needs to happen, man. Like seriously, that's what needs to happen. I mean, the stuff that this guy is inciting is just dangerous. What if one of those senators would have gotten killed?
Oh,
when they stormed in.
Actually, because that woman died, they can charge someone with that murder.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, they really need to take this guy out of office. Yeah. Like, listen, bro, your last 14 days are done.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, Pence needs to make that decision, and I hope he does, because Donald already turned on him because he didn't want to do what he wanted him to do today at the certification.
So it's like,
you know what I mean?
He knows that. Why are you even defending this guy anymore? Because he's just a crazy.
Right. And he likes you as long as you're loyal to him. To him. It could be 4 years, and the minute you don't do something that he says, you're his enemy instantly. And Pence realized that today. And it's like, dude.
And then
I'm just like, I'm mind blown. I swear, is what I'm seeing going on in this country right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and to think that when he does make his video speech that he recorded, he doesn't change anything. He's still with the same rhetoric. It's just very confusing. I can't believe there are people who are still supporters of this man. It just boggles. If I understand the people still there, but anyone sitting at home is really looking at this and proud. Like, you're proud to be you're proud to be a Republican. You're proud to say you support Trump when these people are trying to do an insurrection, trying to overthrow the government.
Yeah.
And that's.
Yeah, I mean, in instead of him coming out and saying, "Hey guys, I know it's not fun. We lost. Congratulations to Biden and the Democrats. It was a fair election. You know what I mean? Go home, everybody. Maybe we'll come back in 4 years." Yeah, he just can't
do it.
Say the right thing. He can't do the right thing. He can't like he's a lame duck, sorry, sore loser. Period.
Yeah.
And he's doing everything he can to make everyone's life a living hell on his way out.
Yeah. I got to say, I thought for a moment that he was actually going to somehow get the military to be part of his little coup thing. And I'm actually, there's parts of today, that's the crazy thing. Today actually started off kind of, if you're a Democrat, as kind of a great day because
we got Georgia, the Senate back. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Democrat John Ossoff defeated David Perdue, and then Raphael Norwick, Democrat, defeated the Republicans, Kelly Loeffler, who was never really, she was appointed anyway. But Georgia
now it's
became
just to piggyback on what you're saying, hold that thought. Now it's 50-50, and Kamala Harris makes that 51. So now the Dems have control of the Senate and the House, which is what we needed. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you.
So
anyway, go ahead.
I almost wanted to be like, thanks, Trump, for everything you've been saying.
Yeah.
After the actual election,
it went against
up to, but then the man does something, like, God dang. I mean, this is this is the 6th of January of 2021. We had a hell of a year last year. What's this next year now going to bring with this already starting? Like, it's crazy.
Now, what's going to happen with the inauguration on the 20th. They're going to have to bring the National Guard and the Army and stuff. just in case his people comes in and tries to disrupt and distract from what's really supposed to be happening. And as you know, a lot of Americans, a lot of people that supports the election are going to be there. You know what I'm trying to say? So with those people that's going to be there, you got to protect those people. Because if Trump's people is coming to that inauguration, you might have some clashes with the people that's there to support Biden.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was about to say, I think because of COVID, I thought it was kind of not canceled, but like they weren't really suggesting people come.
No, I think it's still going on.
It's still going on? Okay.
Yeah, because who was I was with someone and they're actually going and they were talking about what they had to do to get tickets and stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's like a process to get the tickets and they started early and, Yeah.
Okay.
Who was I forget who I was talking to, but it's someone that either I know that we both know that I was with or I was talking to that was saying they're going. Okay. Yeah, they got tickets and blah, blah, blah. I've never tried to get tickets to it, but they were talking about it today on CNN, what they're going to have to do for the inauguration.
Oh, okay.
They were talking about it today. I guess because it's outside and people are going to have masks. Al Sharpton did his march, a few months ago, and it was fine. It was 200,000 folks showed up, and everybody had masks and stuff like that. So yeah, they're like definitely going to do it. They even said it today, and they were talking about what they're going to have to actually do now because they know that these people are already coming back. Remember, Trump already said he was going to throw a rally the same day of the inauguration.
Yeah, but then I'm also hearing that he was trying to potentially leave the country. But then Scotland said he's not welcome or allowed to leave because there's been a lot of military or like when he goes into whatever locations, the advanced people to prepare for security. There's a lot of security things going on in Scotland, but they said that they weren't welcoming him there, especially because of COVID. It's all COVID related, but they still probably don't want that craziness. And then that shows like this man is trying to plan on leaving the country.
Interesting. Well, what I'd like to know is if in our conservative little bubble here in wine country, if all these people with the trucks and flags gonna come out and start, you know what I mean? Is what's going on in Washington going to bleed over into these conservative communities? You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. I haven't been out today, so I don't know if they're driving around. I don't know if they're out there on Inez and Rancho Cal where they usually protest.
Oh yeah.
But I won't be surprised if they're not. I won't be surprised if they are.
I'm not surprised if they were probably out there early on, and then. It's very possible someone showed videos and they were like, some of them are like, maybe I don't want to be down with this, or they just don't care. And they care, but they care about the fact they believe that they need to prevent the stealing of this election.
Stop the steal.
Stop the steal.
Which is a crock of, oh man, it's just, it's sometimes I sit and I wonder, like, how are his kids looking at this? How is Barron, his youngest son, looking at this? How, you know what I mean? Like the people that's around him that's related to him, I always wonder how they feel about his actions and his shenanigans that he's continually perpetuating every day. Go ahead.
Are you referring to like? Because Barron would be kind of interesting, but he could possibly be not really seeing this either. Do you know what I mean?
You think? How do you hide this from him?
The day of, I could, they could do. I don't know exactly, but I'm just wondering. He's probably with his Melania. But the other ones are right there with him. So Trump Jr. he also made statements today. So to answer that, they probably all just look up to him and think that.
This is great.
Think he's crazy, but this helps us somehow.
Right.
Because they're all, I think, again, they're all of them have to be nervous and worried, because it's not just Trump, it's also the Trump campaign that is being looked at. So they all have the potential to be seeing, some type of investigation, or they're part of some investigation. But even though I know, well, as someone said, there's a very good possibility, since he loves to, he likes to do his Oprah imitation, and he's like, here's a pardon, there's a pardon, everyone gets a pardon, that he might start pardoning people that could potentially be accused of like insurrection, which would be his son, Trump Jr., and Giuliani, for the statements they made before.
Now, is that a federal thing? Because I know the only thing that he can pardon are federal crimes, not state. So that would that be a federal thing, you think? Or and then Washington D.C. is not a state. It's interesting, right? It's the only place in the United States that is not a state, and the capital is there. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, but didn't they vote for that?
No, it's a reason why it's not a state. I want to cover it on the show. It's a reason why it's not a state.
They're trying to bring it to be.
They're trying to make it to be a state. Oh, yeah. But
and I can't remember if they voted.
We need to talk about why it's not a state, though. I looked it up years ago, and I forgot. It's the reason why it's not a state.
But I do remember that they want to add Washington D.C., Puerto Rico. So maybe that's what the discussion is about, is trying to bring those two locations, those two countries, or not countries, but not, because they're not states. So what is it? They're not Holland. Anyway, trying to bring those as states.
Right. Yeah, it's weird. And they have a curfew. They have a curfew.
It's already past it.
Right, but people are still out. And they were asking on CNN, like, are you guys going to arrest folks? Like, what's going on? Like,
because if this was Black Lives Matter,
right?
Y'all, they'd be out there like,
they'd be out. You gotta leave. Down. Yeah, exactly.
And this is I've never seen strobe lights used in with the crowd before until today. Like, so many. There's a lot of peaceful ways to disperse these, and even their attitudes. Like, it's just amazing. Like someone posted, and things I've read. The United States is showing that there is definitely two Americas. There's if you're white, and white males are going to be treated like what we're seeing today, and anyone who's not, you're shot or you're beat down. You're rubber bullets. Like, I didn't, not one single rubber bullet, and no one can tell me that what went down there wasn't at least a cause for it. And seeing the guns drawn on the floor of the Senate, or on the floor, in Congress, and at the people who were breaking the windows, trying to break in. It's a lot of restraint was.
A lot of restraint was used. And if that was anyone else, they would have known to not even try that, because you're going to get shot down. Yep. But they could do it, roll in. Someone else ends up getting killed. Yeah. And I don't know who got killed. I don't know what side she was on. They didn't give any details.
They haven't. Yeah.
They haven't given any details. So I don't know if someone one of the security officers in the Capitol shot this woman, and she was a part of, the rioting side, or if it was vice versa, or they didn't say. You know what I mean? Which I think is kind of interesting. Maybe we'll get more information on that later.
Yeah,
see who exactly that was that ended up getting killed. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And then there was one last thing that just popped, and then it disappeared out of my head. Damn it! Oh well.
What was it?
I can't remember. No. Shoot. Just go ahead.
It's fine. Yeah, and I also think it was kind of, it took them a while to actually deploy the National Guard too, which I thought was kind of strange. That I thought that would have happened instantly when they started breaking the windows in the Capitol building and climbing in. It's like
they would have called and the reaction from even Metropolitan PD or Metropolitan MC, whatever, what I was seeing, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like there was a big delay. Like I think, and I read that someone said that they were overwhelmed and surprised.
Yeah, and then they were outnumbered by so many. Yeah, they didn't know.
But I will say that I do recall when the Black Lives Matter were in DC and were at the Capitol, the police and security were already, and none of that was being, there was just a force in, to be seen. Where here it was just kind of like, whatever, oh, these people aren't going to do anything crazy. Like it's just automatically assumed again that almost like white people don't do anything bad, but black people will. Right.
Which is nonsense and nuts. So let's see what's going to happen these next few days. I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's see what's going to happen. I was about to say, but I don't know what's going to happen. So let's see.
Oh, they're still trying to, it's mainly the Democrats, but they're saying that because they had to stay in the building, that they're trying to continue with the process.
Oh, they are
certifying. They want to certify and get it done with tonight. And that would be a good thing to do. Let's show
but that's only if they don't reject all those states, because each one takes 2 hours to talk about. So they're purposely doing it, knowing it just holds up the process for no reason.
Yeah, I get that. But
if they don't reject any states, then because usually it's normally a quick process that they go through.
Like that, yeah.
But because they're rejecting the states, they have to wait 2 hours for each state.
But they can withdraw, because if there was an objection and then they recessed, they could withdraw their objection and just go through the count, be done, the country moves on, and everything like that. But of course, a lot of these politicians are scared that if they do that, Trump is going to tweet, and then now they've lost these supporters. But
they're going to
lose their
constituents. They're going to lose their constituents. And then, I guess they're afraid that someone else will come in and campaign for their prospective seats and positions. And if they don't support Trump, they'll lose all their constituents to an opponent. You know what I mean? Instead of standing up and forcing their constituents to do the right thing and be on the right side of a Democratic republic, they're going along with Trump, trying to save their jobs at the end of the day, knowing everything that he's saying and doing is wrong.
So one of my questions in that whole, and I agree that that's exactly what they're trying to do. One thing that trips me out is if they were to think about it, and if Trump does have criminal charges, how does he continue with that power if he's proven to be the liar and the fraud he is? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It should be, instead they're giving him more power by acting like the people he has cannot be, are part, which I understand they're part of his cult, but if facts are, I'm hoping true facts about when he, is in trouble or when he's prosecuted or whatever, that would come out and people will see, oh man, this guy really was terrible. And then his support would be gone. Because that now needs to be, a lot of that group needs to be considered domestic terrorists.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But, it's, but they only call you terrorists if you're Muslim or somebody else, but but that's exactly what happened today. It was domestic terrorism for a fact, but when it's in America, it's different, it's another set of standards. It's so weird, man. It's another set of standards. Anyway, what else do we want to talk about this? I'm gonna throw some images in and stuff like that for our watchers on YouTube. And but yeah, it's definitely a sad day in America. That's what I have to say. Well, I wouldn't say sad. It's it's an shameful, disrespectful day in America. That's what I would say. Instead
I
of
would
sad.
just go with an embarrassment.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment, shameful
like
embarrassment.
it's been for the last 4 years, and it just
Yeah.
really unfolded today as to what the man's been trying to do. But
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. All right, guys, is that it?
That's it, I think.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I'm gonna try to get this out today. This will typically come out on Friday, so it'll come out a couple of days before. I'll try and get it out sometime today, so people, they can listen and or watch tonight and then tomorrow. But I'll definitely try and get it uploaded for the listeners today.
And congratulations
January
to
6th.
Georgia to turning purple.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Congrats to Georgia, and congrats on taking control of the Senate. And I know with that done, the next 4 years, we'll definitely be able to get some stuff done without any objections from the Republicans.
Yep. Looking forward.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, thanks for locking in with us. It's the HPR Chronicles Podcast with Shaquan Smith. Keep listening where you get your podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on ICT Group Digital. And we will see you guys next week, where we will talk about QAnon unless some other shenanigans go on before next week's show. All right. Thanks for checking in, Smith.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. All right, brother. Peace out.
Peace.